All right. So I want to welcome everybody to the fireside chat for the Broadband Committee for Caroline. This is the August 19th, 2024 meeting. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about and kind of give some overview. So please tune in and stay until the end. David, did you want to kick us off with a Caroline County East update?
Yes, sir. And we've got some stuff to cover, but this should be a fairly quick meeting tonight. I did want to just cover a few things here. Let's see. All right. Everyone should be able to see that screen there.
Yes, sir. We got it.
All right. So what we're looking at here, it's kind of a small picture because it's a big area. So I guess that's a good thing. But if you notice on the picture, there's a pink area, there's a lot of yellow, and then there's some blue on that map. Just so everyone knows, this is like from, I guess you could say, drop out. Did you drop out, Jeff? So did the stream stop? Do we need to go back and start? So right now, what we're looking at is the southern half of Caroline County. Most of this area, you see I-95 all the way over to the left. So anything to the right side of Route 95 is Caroline East, and we're looking at the southern half of Caroline East. Currently, you see areas that are shaded in yellow. All of those areas have construction taking place in those areas currently. The majority of the construction in those areas is underground construction while we await the return from REC of the make ready for the overhead work. So there's a lot of conduit going in the ground, some fiber splicing taking place all across, in the southern half of the county. The blue areas have yet to be released to construction. However, after September 1, that's going to change as well. So we'll see yellow in a lot more of the county. We have that one area up there towards the top, just to the right of center there, that is pink. So we'll discuss that a little bit more. This is a closer view of that area. And if you look, basically the top edge of the pink circle going around is south boundary of AP Hill. So in that area, south, in the bottom area, you see Sparta Volunteer Fire Department. The road from Sparta Volunteer Fire Department north is Maricosic, comes over, and it comes back down Seals Road for a ways. This area is GCR 04, the Four Pond area. About 100 houses spread throughout that area. I think it's 92 or 95 homes. This area is the area that they're concentrating on currently. They've gotten the pole ready permits back from REC to do construction in this area. So overhead and underground both. Splicing is taking place, and we're being told that within the next 30 days, if you live in that pink area that we're looking at that runs from Sparta up to south boundary of AP Hill and over to Seals Lane and then to the left over to Smoots Mill, will be released for sale. So if you live in that area, you want to go to the Caroline County website, go to the Caroline East Project, and call to make sure that Breezeline has a way of getting in touch with you as soon as those addresses are open for sale. Jason, I think you may have a picture or two from the construction taking place.
Sure do. Let me share screen. And is my screen good? Yeah.
Yes, sir. We got it.
This is over at the Ruritan Club, where I'm a trustee and treasurer. Quick note, we have a concert coming up, Grandsons of the Statler Brothers. Please come out if you can. But the Ruritan Club provided easement to Breezeline. So is this the Breezeline company or is this a contractor, David?
That's Fiber Tech, who is their main contractor. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, Friday, out of nowhere, here they were digging to install the power and base station. Forget the terminology. At the same time, Verizon was also at their Verizon boxes at their easement on the other side of the property. I don't know if that was in coordination or conjunction or just a coincidence. So that was them digging.
We've been getting calls up and down 301 and across Route 30 in reference to Verizon construction. Just everyone should know that the Verizon construction that's taken place on the east side of the county, east of 95, is not related to the VADI projects. That's all internal. Some of the work that Verizon is doing, and you may have seen it, is they're attempting to locate the fiber that runs through the flats. So I think you mentioned that, or they're actually up to the Pineview area on 301.
Yep, and that's these next pictures here going down 301. You can see where they've been tearing the ground up to put the, what do you call it, the access pieces in.
So some of that is probably Verizon trying to locate fiber, but that actually looks like construction there. So they're working their way. They're down as far south as the Ruritan Club working, and then the working east and west of the Ruritan Club on the other side of Route 301 as well. So and then they're working. They've got to go through the flats and connect actually north of there. So they are working on a lot of different areas. And earlier when I was showing everyone the map, right now we have that one pink area up in the Sparta area that they're focusing on with, like I said, hopefully a 30-day goal of being able to turn on customers in that area. As that pole make ready work from REC, Rappahannock Electric comes in and they're able to go overhead with the wires or the fiber that they need to hang overhead. Other areas will turn pink in that map. As soon as we get notice that they're working in those areas, we'll be sure to notify you. And this, of course, is the best place to get that information because we meet weekly with all the contractors and try to share as much detail as we can when we have it. Unfortunately, we are getting a lot of calls in from citizens wanting to know when they're going to be connected. A lot of that is out of our hands, out of Breezeline's hands, out of their contractors' hands. It'll rely on other companies such as REC, Rappahannock Electric, to issue those permits to go overhead. So what we try to do is show you where they're working. They're getting as much done in those areas as they can ahead of those permits. But when those permits come through, that will actually determine which areas of those yellow areas change to pink and they work south. So That's the Caroline East project. Are there any questions about anything?
David, I just had one quick question. I just wanted to make sure. So each month as we go through this, if there are updates, we will be sharing those on this channel, correct? With
Yes.
to the map.
Yes.
So what I would recommend is anybody that's watching this, please be sure to tell your neighbors, tell your friends to tune into this so that way they can get the most up-to-date information. That we will be keeping people up to date as areas become available for sale, construction, release for construction, those type of things. This is where you will get the most up-to-date information. So we do have the broadband form that you can request something. That's still going to be up, correct, David?
Yeah, that's still up, and we're still trying to keep up with those as best we can. Um, and Jason, not only is it the most up-to-date information, but I would even venture as far as to say probably the most accurate information that we can give out. I will caution a lot of people that there are a lot of people that still use social media as their form of news. And there's a lot of misinformation on social media. It's not a good place to get news, and it's definitely not a good place to get information about these projects, because a lot of what we were seeing on there is speculation or just inaccurate information that's being given out. And if you are in those areas, just know that there's an open invitation or offer from this committee, and myself included. If you have a community group, or if you have a church meeting, or you have a group of people that are raring to get hooked up to broadband and need more information, we'll be glad to come out, meet with your group, make a presentation, and try to just keep everyone informed. We're doing everything we can to keep the public informed with accurate information, and that's a big part of my job, Caroline.
David, I can't say it enough, but thank you for taking the time to come up with those maps. I think that map is really, it's showing how real this is. We've talked about it for years, and then there was a lot of prep work that had to go into it, but now we're actually seeing colors change on the map. So thank you for all the hard work that you put into that. I just want to make sure that I make it vocal that I thank you for everything that you've done.
Well, and I appreciate the help that you guys are doing. And again, as committee members, if you see activity that's going on in your neighborhood, like Jason did a great job of snapping those pictures, and because we do have to show activity and show involvement to the state that issued the grant. So anything like that that we can come up with is a big help. And again, if you have a community group that you guys as a committee members are members of, and you want us to come out and do a presentation, we're more than happy to do that. Any way we can to get the word out. Is there any more questions about Caroline East? That's everything east of Route 95. The broadband inquiry form, we're getting a lot of questions from people in the northern part of the county. A lot of questions coming from the very northwestern corner of Caroline County, right along the railroad tracks north of Guinea Station. Those areas have to be completed in the next 2.5 or less years. However, they're not being worked on currently. You saw the areas that were yellow. That's where construction's taking place. Those areas north, as that map fills in with yellow, will start moving in that direction. But unfortunately, it is a hub and spoke. So it has to be built from the hub out. And so once we start moving in those areas, most of the northern areas of the project of Caroline East are reliant on railroad crossings. We are making progress with the railroad. They have the applications, they have the request for flaggers. As of last Friday, CSX has not issued a date for those flaggers to be on location so that construction can take place under the railroad tracks. And that's the biggest reason, or one of the many reasons, that the project started going south, because we could get a large part of the county and it wouldn't be held up by those railroad crossings any more than necessary. So that's kind of why it went in that direction and continues to move. But as soon as those permits are issued by CSX Railroad to allow us to go under the railroad tracks with those fibers, then we will no longer have a restriction to start the northern parts of the project. Any more questions about Caroline East? All right, well, let's move on to Caroline West. As of our last meeting with Verizon just last Friday, 98% of the fiber is in place in that project area. So that's 98%. There's only 2% more fiber to be buried in the ground. Now, those last 2% covers an area of the county that continues to be a challenge, Horseshoe Bend Road, which is up in Western Carolina, off of Carter's Gate Road. Verizon's having some issues getting easements through that road. So they continue to work through that. We continue to try to assist them with that. So hopefully we can get the easement issues worked out. And they'll be able to serve about 9 or 10 homes on that road. We also have identified 2 areas in Caroline West that contains approximately 15 homes. These homes were previously identified as being served by Comcast. And in the last update of the state broadband map, they were corrected, more than likely with information that Comcast had provided, and they're now showing as not served. So we're working with the providers in that area to come up with a solution to get service in that area. I'd like to thank Mr. Black for his continued support. Supervisor Black from that area continues to be very supportive, and we're looking for the best solution to be able to get service to that area. The 98%, now there is a strong possibility that it may get to 100% of the underground fiber placed, but not 100% of the addresses being served. So there's about 800 homes. There's about 350 that have it available to them now. The fiber could be all placed in the ground 100%, and they're still working to do 2 remote areas that will allow them to serve those other areas. It could be October, November before some of those areas come online. So it may be a little bit of time between now and when we start seeing those last group of addresses for the Caroline West project to come online. But we are continuing to work. Verizon continues to be an excellent partner. Breezeline continues to be an excellent partner. And Jason, I don't know about you, but it's just really almost mind blowing when you look at that map and see how much of the southern half of Caroline County is yellow and how much to the area that they're working in.
I would agree.
So other than that, that's all the actual reports that we have tonight. The Caroline County Broadband Advisory Committee will be present at the Bowling Green Harvest Festival on October 19th. We look forward to any citizens or residents of the area come out and talk to us about the project or ask any questions that you may have about it. We'll do our best to answer them with, again, accurate information. We hope to have representatives from Verizon and Breezeline with us at that location. And then the following week, I guess it is, Jason Barlow?
Correct.
So the following week we'll be at the Frog Level Fire Parade. So what I'm hoping is that by the time we get to the Harvest Festival and the Fire Parade, we'll have a lot more area in yellow and probably some areas that they're working to finish up that would go into the pink color. So we hope to have a lot of news to be able to discuss and talk about as we get closer to these public events that we'll be attending. I think that pretty much covers what I had. Does anybody have any questions about Caroline East or Caroline West?
I don't have a question. I was just going to make a statement. One of my friends who is actually in King William was turned on. They are starting to roll out their Breezeline and internet out there. He lives down about a 1.5 mile long driveway, and his got turned on, I believe, Friday. And within about 5 minutes of them turning on the modem and it configuring the routes, he was basically getting gig over gig internet to his house. And he is way back off into the woods too. Caroline's not the only one getting it. But there are, other people that are getting onto Breezeline. So, and they are seeing the speeds too. So Caroline will hopefully very, very soon start seeing more people get turned on to Breezeline, and we'll see those same speeds over here.
Yeah, Jason, you brought up a good point in one of our phone calls the other day about an area, Rappahannock Academy, that's having some issues. If you live in the Rappahannock area, Academy of Caroline County, some of that area is already served thanks to the 21 project. But if you call, it may say that you don't have service available to you. If you use Port Royal as your city, with your correct address, then it may very well come back and say that, yes, you have service available. So there's some issues with that. I've contacted Breezeline. They're checking on the accuracy of their database in that area just to make sure that people aren't getting misinformation. But if you live in that area, it might be worth a phone call to Breezeline, and we'll continue to try to get that information updated accurately so that people can get the correct answer when they call in. So, Jason Barlow.
Yes, sir.
If you had a question about internet that you didn't know the answer to, how would you get an answer, or how would you pose that question to somebody?
Well, I would end up reaching out to the Broadband Committee through the Caroline County website.
Absolutely. Right answer. So that's still the best way to get us. Questions, if you have any questions, get those to us. Just go to the Caroline County webpage, go to the broadband page, scroll to the bottom, and there's a big button now to help you locate that button to submit any questions that you might have. Mr. Thomas, again, thank you, sir, for your support of these projects and for being here tonight. Did you have any questions for us before we head out?
No, I didn't have any questions, and it's my pleasure to make sure the folks in Caroline finally get broadband after all this time.
All right, Jason, I guess if that covers everything I had on my list to cover. Again, thanks to all of you members for being here this evening for this discussion. And then note that next meeting will be a business meeting. I don't know that we'll have anything to vote on. However, September or October, I have not seen the final confirmation. We will have a representative then from Verizon, several representatives. Verizon has a low-cost internet option that they've offered for sale to assist people because of the ACP having expired. So, and then it's my understanding that both Comcast and Breezeline both have the same option as well. So we'll extend that invitation to the other providers just so everyone gets a chance. But just know that ACP has expired, but companies are working to try to provide at least a low cost option for people to be able to get internet if they qualify. So other than that, Jason, that's all I have. I'll turn it back over to you.
So quick question. It looks like in September, our meeting will be on September 16th. Is that still good?
Yes, as far as I know.
Okay. I just wanted to double check that with the representatives that you were talking, the 16th still work for them. So, okay. Well,
Yeah, and we'll get the word out. We'll post it on the website as soon as we know for sure that we get that final confirmation back on the date, to let everyone know. Worst case scenario, it would be October, because I know they are considering both September and October to try to figure out how they can get the best representation in there. But we'll and then we will extend that same invitation to the other providers. So hopefully we can get all three providers in here to discuss their offerings.
All right. Anybody else have anything at this point? Hearing nothing else, I guess we'll go ahead and adjourn, and we will see everybody back on September 16th, 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank y'all for your time.